Coffee out of our misprinted. I guess it wasn't even misprinted because I fucking did it that way.
Can you show the handle?
So it's on
The
centered
away from the handle.
You look at a regular coffee cup, and the image is either on the left side or the right side, right? But I got it and I accidentally put it on the front because, like an idiot, when I had them made, I just went for it.
Honestly, I didn't even know it was an option. But now that I know it, it makes sense. Like, hey, I'm right-handed,
Yeah.
so I'm holding it like this, and it's gonna say something snarky like, "Don't talk to me till after I've had my caffeine."
What is it? Pilates. I thought you said pie and lattes.
Live, laugh, love.
But you know what? We got a lot to talk about, and let me start with this. So
Go ahead.
last week we were talking about self-checkout, like going through the self-checkout. And so I was at the store today, and it was packed. I mean, it's Saturday right now, super crowded. And so the way they have four registers, and then like four self-checkout lines that are like in like four self-checkout, registers or whatever in the center. And
with the one person.
Yep. And so you could
handling all four.
Yes, exactly. So she had everyone like standing back, and it's like, okay, someone would leave and you would go up. So, I'm a big fan of using the self-checkout. I think that it is a big time saver. However, I have a problem with people who act like only their time matters and no one else's does.
Or are they la-di-daing around in the self-checkout?
So we we are waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting. And so this dude was just taking his sweet old fucking time, and then he finally rings everything else up, and he proceeds to walk to get a jug of the, for the water coolers, and then he walks back over, and he walks back
like
over.
the Crystal Geyser,
Yes, and he probably had 50 items. So like we talked about, like self-checkout, using the self-checkout line is great, but you have to be considerate, and I think his order was better suited for the actual register. And to me, like, that's super fucking frustrating. So I really wanted to,
flame this guy.
Yeah, well, like, I can't stand people who they don't. It's just them, and they're the only one in their world, but nobody and nobody else fucking matters.
In talking about a lot of these subjects, I think that we've discovered that there's just a lot of people that don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves.
And I think that this was a case of that. It was, it was just me, like me being him, and I'm the only one that matters, and fuck everyone else. Or this individual was just truly clueless, and it was just frustrating, man. And especially because, like, I had 5 things, and I had to wait like 25 minutes for this guy because all the other lines were crowded, but they were crowded with people who had big orders, which was fine. But he also had a big order and just fucking jammed everything up. But the reason we went to Food Lion, so we're getting into fall. Spooky season is upon us.
Yes, it is. We've already gotten our PSLs.
We've gotten our PSLs, which I think is one of my favorite days of the year when Starbucks and whomever releases.
But you know how I feel about this. It's still, it was still shut up till yesterday, 90-something degrees out.
Well, and that's what is making this so difficult is it's so hot. Like, it's hot as balls today. But we wanted to really get into the season. So we bought one of the 12-foot skeletons.
You got that one last year, but that does like the animatronic.
It was an animatronic. So I think it was not Spencer's, Spirit Halloween. They sell the animatronics, and they're expensive.
Spirit Halloween moving into any unoccupied
what is it?
This
meme?
The guy hide behind the bush.
So the thing is with the animatronics, you have to bring them in every night, and they can't stay in the rain. Like, so our garage is at the back of our house, so it was annoying to have to lug that thing every night all the way around the house in the fucking dark. So I sold them. We cut ties with the animatronics.
Oh, okay.
But the 12-foot skeleton, that can live outside.
12 foot. Okay.
It's huge. So we're going to set it up tomorrow. And we went and we got like the lights for it. But we also are planning on leaving it out until after the new year and just putting a fucking Santa hat on it.
Oh, I like that.
So have you noticed though, like more and more people getting the skeleton? The dude dropping it off today was like, I delivered like 5 of these yesterday, and the van was just full of them.
No, I haven't noticed it. I don't even know exactly. Like, I can picture what a skeleton looks like.
Yep.
And I know about how big 12 feet is, but I don't know. I don't think that I've ever seen that in anybody's yard.
I'll send you a picture tomorrow when it's up. I don't know how long it's going to take, and then I'll post a picture to the old Instagram.
Oh,
and see.
yeah. Please do.
But I'm curious, like why are the skeletons so popular now? I mean, because you're only allowed one. It was like one per household, and
Shit. Is that like the new like Tickle Me Elmo this year?
I mean, they're significantly more expensive, but I guess, yeah.
Well, don't tell Shay. She's gonna fucking go buy one.
Oh, I'm
immediately.
gonna absolutely send a picture. So,
Please don't.
but is fall and like Halloween? Would you say like your favorite time of the year?
Not mine.
No.
I like summer. Just there's more shit to do. More shit to do. But fall is second, for sure.
I used to be big on Christmas, and like just the whole like winter, but I think fall has really grown on me, and maybe just because I like the things that go along with it, right? Like during the summer, you have what kind of activities? Like you can go
to the
into
pool,
water,
go to the beach.
I think that's the biggest thing. You get water, like outdoor water, essentially. At least here on the East Coast, maybe like or in Delaware.
Yes.
And you're big on the beach. Like I don't like the beach a lot.
I like the beach. I like the lake. I like the pool. But I actually don't hardly get into the water. I think I just like
lounge,
being close to water. Yeah, I got to work on that tan GTL.
Now
tan
GTL, man. So with me, fall, I guess. One, you get the PSL, and I think that's huge. That's so.
Well, it just starts it off.
It just kicks it off, and it's great. But I like that weather, and I just like the way that everything looks. I really like scary movies,
Me too. Actually, I like that a lot. What's that channel that does
Shudder?
Shudder,
right?
And they only. I don't know if they exist all the time,
it's
or if
like
they just turn on like now.
And they're not like great movies, but they're fun.
They don't need to be very good.
No.
What was the one last year? Thanksgiving. Did you see that one?
Wait, was it like Thanksgiving?
But it was
but without a turkey?
It wasn't a turkey doing the killing. And honestly,
who was doing the killing?
Don't even ask me. It was a funny, like fun movie to watch. It was one of those ones like, oh, it's so over the top that it's good, but it wasn't very scary.
So what makes a good like horror movie? So what? It's hard to like phrase this question because like I don't want to say a good horror movie because most of them I don't want to say like are good.
No, I got it. I think that there's a couple different worlds of horror movies. There's the just genuinely scary movies,
like top and like high budget.
What's the one where they is it the one with Ethan Hawke where he goes
Sinister?
Up? Sinister.
Yeah,
that one is a scary movie. I think that's a good scary movie. But then you have like the over the top,
like gore porn.
Yes. Those movies and there's people that just love those movies. And then there's like the monster, like the traditional monster, not even traditional monster
like
movies.
Dracula and Frankenstein.
Dracula, Freddy, Jason, the killers.
Even.
Yep.
And you know what? Like for me, I like Child's Play. Like I like Chucky. I'm not really big on like Halloween. And if I had to like, I guess pick one of those types of movies, I think I would go Scream. But I love and I don't even know if this is considered like a horror movie, but The Fly, the remake with Jeff Goldblum.
Wait, was the Jeff Goldblum
it
version
was a remake? Yeah,
I love that movie. I watched it for the first time maybe like five or 10 years ago,
and it's great, right?
It was really good. It stayed with me. Like I guess maybe just because Jeff Goldblum is.
But you know what I really like about those movies? Practical effects. And there's not a whole lot of CGI. I don't think there was any CGI really in that movie.
Did
I'm
they
pretty
have
sure it was
CGI back
all.
then?
I don't think so. That was what, the early 80s, I think.
Which I guess they sort of had that.
Yeah, but like and I think I like that movies are reverting back to the practical. I think Aliens, and the new
Romulus.
yeah, I think they went back to like a dude wearing a suit, and
You know
people
what?
love it.
I saw like a behind the scenes of
Yeah.
that guy in the suit, and at first when I was looking at it, I thought it was a really great rendering of a video game. But
Sure.
then he started to move around like not just like this, not just like video game style, like he was actually like started swinging his arm around, and I was
Well-
like, "Oh, that looked wild."
And I feel like as an actor, it adds more to the scene when there's actually someone there, versus like you see like the dude who has like the picture of like, all right, you're getting chased by this
By
thing,
this
and
thing right here.
and it's a dude in a fucking like all green suit, but like actually having, I think like a good example, with Pennywise, and like apparently like he was just drooling all over everybody, and like that I think kind of like helps make the scene good.
Who's the guy that played him in the most recent It movies?
Alec, was it Alex Skarsgård?
One
or
of the Skarsgård. It was Bill.
Bill.
Was it Bill
Because there's a
Skarsgård?
whole there's what? There's a family. And
Yeah.
You have Dad
There's the guy.
Skarsgård.
Yep, and he was in the Marvel movies.
Yep, so Thor mainly.
Yep.
And the Avengers.
Scientist.
He's a
He's a scientist guy.
Yep.
And then there's the one that's in True Blood. He
Mhm.
plays he plays Eric in True Blood,
Yes.
but I don't know what his name is. And then there's Bill. He's the Pennywise.
And also, isn't he in the remake of The Crow?
I don't know.
I think
I haven't seen anything about that.
that was one where I heard like, can we? What is the best and worst remakes? Like, and it doesn't have to be horror. Like, where it can be any.
I'm gonna look it up because I don't have anything off the dome.
That's a really tough one. I think for me, yeah, man, I don't know.
Remakes that are as good or better than the original.
Okay,
This is just a Reddit post.
that's a hard one. Yeah, I don't know.
Guess what's on here? This very second thing that somebody has listed, The Fly.
Okay, so yeah, I think the original came out in, like the 50s, and that's still okay. You know what? What about like the new like Halloween movies? Are those considered remakes or just additions to?
You're not talking about what's his name? Rob Zombie's.
The Rob Zombies, are those remakes, or is that supposed to fall into the same universe? Like, I don't know.
And then if you're talking about remakes, you can talk about remakes. You can also talk about reboots.
Yeah, so okay. So when you're rebooting something, you're literally starting a whole new
Universe.
right, versus a remake is a remake just exactly the same thing essentially, just done like a little bit different. Like I'm trying to think of like a video game. Okay, Resident Evil 4 has been released 100 times, right? The newest one to come out to me is technically a remake,
Yeah.
but the whole thing was fucking rebuilt from the ground up.
How about this? I think that when Resident Evil came out with what was that where they just called it again, wasn't it Resident Evil they called it?
Yes.
That seemed like a reboot to me. Did it not?
So a remake is a new version of an existing story, while a reboot is a fresh start within a franchise, often with a new storyline and sometimes even different characters.
Franchise, I think, is the key.
So,
word
like,
there.
the
so
new
the Fly
Pirates-
was a remake.
The
'Cause there
Fly
just-
was a remake.
It was just one movie, but if there was like The Fly 2, The Fly 3, The Fly's Revenge, like if there was that,
The
then,
Fly
then the
Returns.
Jeff Goldblum would have been
Because
that would have been
spoiler alert, he dies at the end.
he definitely dies as a yucky, gross
Because
fly.
he like mutate. I mean, the whole movie he's mutated because the fly flies into the chamber with him and it fuses with him. But at the end, he's
was
just
he trying to teleport? Is that what he was trying to do?
Yeah, and there's a fly in there, and then he starts to like lose his teeth, and it's a bizarre movie, but like I love it. But Halloween and October, there is something happening in October.
Hmm.
Wendy's is releasing the Krabby Patty.
I'm fucking hype. Do you know what's the order? Do you know it off the dome?
No, is that what they're like?
It's got to be. It's got to be what they do because
So
it has to be in that specific order for it to be a Krabby Patty, right?
is that what makes it the Krabby Patty?
So I looked at just their, um, well, Mr. Krabs is a secret recipe,
Yeah.
which apparently he sold out and gone to Wendy's. Which I'd say 2 months ago we went to Wendy's and vowed that we wouldn't go back.
Okay, so yes, that's what I wanted to touch on. So for those of you listening, on October 8th, the Krabby Patty collab meal is coming out. So it's a Krabby Patty, French fries, and a pineapple under the sea frosty. And my favorite thing is the top comment says, "Wendy, stop playing with me. That's just Dave's hot and juicy," because it looks just like it. But so we went to Wendy's, and it was one of the worst dining experiences ever. But is it the worst dining experience you've ever had? Or if it wasn't, what is the worst dining experience you've ever had?
Well, there was the one time where we went to the Burger King and what was it? Oh no, that wasn't even a bad experience. But when those ladies were talking to us, and didn't they carry us over the BK
They
crowns?
brought us the BK crowns. It was very bizarre.
What did we do? Did we hold the door so they wanted to crown us or something?
They were like, "Oh, what a bunch of kings." It was really weird.
I think they were trying to fuck.
Yeah, sure. And we did.
What's that called when you fuck somebody in a Burger King parking lot? There's got to be some phrase.
There's 100%.
Have it your way. You can have it her way. No, I got nothing. But that's not what you asked. You asked what the worst dining experience that I've ever had was. I don't know. I don't think that was it, but
Or what makes a dining, okay, so not a specific time, but what makes a dining experience poor?
anytime you go to a restaurant and they mess up your order. Actually, how about this? That time that we went to the Crooked Hammock and we placed the order for, was it nachos? How many?
At least three times.
At least
3 times.
And they kept getting something wrong every single time.
Yep.
So we were hungry,
Yep.
just waiting, like impatiently waiting then at that point because like, oh, okay, well, we'll get it right the next time. And they didn't. So I think that sets the stage.
I think for me, yeah, like I can get over a shitty, server. If the service is bad, I can get through it, like whatever. I think though, if I wait forever and the food comes out and it sucks, that is what ruins the whole. Because now I'm in a bad fucking mood.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hate sending food back, right?
Yeah.
And I will if it's really fucked up.
Yeah.
But, at that point.
There was that time before the charcoal pit shut down, the one in
on Kirkwood
on
Highway?
the one on Kirkwood Highway,
Yeah.
that I went and I got a burger, and it was like, I think there was everybody was like crowding around the TV watching something at the sports bar part of the area. I asked for my burger medium, and it
Sure.
came out. It must have been a frozen patty, and it came out seared on the outside, frozen in the middle still, like very red and raw. And then they shut down within like 6 months from then. So
Well,
Good.
and the thing is too, like you think about how hard it is to get people, but this was even before like you could say like, oh, people don't want to work, But when I used to work at I'm not going to say the name of the restaurant, but I used to work at I don't even know if it's a chain restaurant anymore, but restaurant, and like the people that would get hired to work there, like if you had a pulse, all right, you can work in the kitchen. I remember there was an individual who had just herpes all over his face.
oh
Right.
wait, like that time we went to Taco Bell.
And she fucking
And she was restocking the lids.
the fucking
it's a whole
cups. It was
sleeve of
it was the
lids.
sleeve of
It was the sleeve of lids, and she unsheathed all the lids and went on every single lid,
and just
all her herpes all over the lids, and then she just went plop.
and then gave us our drink. So this dude had just cold sores everywhere, and he took his fucking hand and he shoved it right into the sour cream and just spread it
Like it's
all
strong, like my strong
like,
hand.
and I guess like that was kind of like it acted like a what was it like a Briva or whatever,
Oh
and they would just
no,
have sour cream, and like
I don't.
that's the same sour cream that
I
you
don't
then
think.
get on your
I
nachos.
don't think that's right. I don't think that
Fuck no,
could
fuck
it.
no.
Does it work as a?
I don't know. I don't have herpes, so
I
um,
look like I do. I have a little pimple there.
yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know. For me, like you can't if you go into a restaurant, you can't think about that, or you
Mm-mm.
just won't ever be able to go out and eat, right? Like
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of places opt for the closed kitchen concept
Uh-huh.
because
I'll tell you what. I went and got. I was being spontaneous last night on my way home after we did the draft. I was pretty tuned up, and I said, you know what, I really want Chinese food. So I stopped for Chinese food on the way home,
okay,
and it was late. It was like really late, and I
yeah,
think like if they shut down at 10, I probably walked in at like 9:54. So I
okay.
felt kind of bad.
And they were like, "This
I
motherfucker."
walked in and I was like, are you guys still like taking orders? Like I was like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, yes, tell me what you want. Go, 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 go.
Okay.
And I did, and they got it for me within like 4 minutes.
Oh, sure.
And then I went home and I housed the whole thing, the
Okay.
whole combo meal with the egg roll and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
I felt like shit all night because I went right to sleep like right after.
Ooh,
So
that
all night, like it was like,
there's something about Chinese food though that just even the worst Chinese food is still good because it's Chinese food, right?
love it, love it.
Um,
Nothing else scratches that itch when you want Chinese food.
no, 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 no. You can't. You know, and especially like, and then when you don't eat it all and you have the leftovers,
Oh, it's
are
good.
Chinese leftovers the best leftovers? Would you say? I think like chili, like a soup, is up there, but I think Chinese food for me,
Yeah, if
man.
you're just going like by a nationality,
Yeah,
I'd say it's number one, closely followed by just pizza.
pizza is great leftover.
Yeah, yep.
Love it.
Have you ever reheated your pizza in a frying pan?
No.
Take your slice of pizza if you're just
Yeah.
having one, put it in your frying pan, in your cold frying pan, grab a lid, turn your frying pan on medium, cover it, and just let it heat up so it steams it and crisps the bottom again.
I actually. What about the
really
air
good.
fryer? That's an option too, right? Or would it
guess
like get
so.
like too crispy?
I guess it depends on the type of pizza. Because if you drip the if it's really cheesy, it'll drip the cheese
And then it's
underneath.
ruined.
Maybe.
Then it's ruined.
Yeah. You don't want to brown the cheese again.
Now, do you eat your pizza cold?
No, I don't
I
like
don't
cold
like
pizza
cold pizza, man.
at all.
Unless it's like unless it's like a tomato pie, and like okay, it's supposed
okay.
to
Then
be
that's
cold,
supposed
I
to be
guess.
served.
But like,
Mhm.
I don't want to have say I have leftover fucking Papa John's. Like I will heat it up. The thing is with pizza though, it's impossible to heat pizza perfectly.
Oh,
Right?
well,
You either you make it too fucking hot or it's still not fucking warm enough.
well, it's a good thing that the cheese is on the top, so it burns the fuck out of the roof of your
Every
mouth
time,
like
and
lava.
you can't fucking taste anything for like 3 days.
That's a shame. And you know what? The same thing is true with Hot Pockets.
Oh, you have to bite the corner off.
Oh, for sure. And then let it vent.
Well, I guess Totinos are even more deadly because you throw the whole thing in your mouth and you have to like fucking bounce it around in there. Fucking fries. But I've noticed you've been going to a lot of you'll always send me like pictures, a lot of Phillies games. Like you go to more Phillies games than I feel like anyone I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of fun.
You,
And actually,
Shay, the kid, like you're always out.
and we, so we just went the other night, and was that
Did they win?
Thursday night? They did win.
Okay.
And I only know that because this is the first game in forever that we actually stayed for the whole thing.
Okay.
But it was a close game. They beat. That was the first game in the Brave in this series against the Braves.
Okay.
And it was actually like a really good game. I think it was
Yep.
5-6 or something, or 6-5. They won.
Baseball is one of those things where like watching it like in person is so like I don't want to sit there. Baseball on TV is fucking boring to me, but in person it's fun.
I love going to a Blue Rocks game though.
Oh sure, yeah. Well, especially because it's super fucking close.
Oh, super close, and it's so much more affordable.
So that's what I was going to ask you. So when you went, did you splurge on a bunch of fucking food?
So Sort of, yeah. So Shay and I each got a drink, and that was so expensive. And then we
That's
did.
like $50 right there.
And then Shay took the kids to just like walk because they definitely don't want to sit through a whole baseball game.
Yeah,
so
sure.
They walked around for probably like 3 innings, and they came back with food and a story. So Shay got a soft pretzel, a different soft pretzel, and that's part of the story. A thing of popcorn and like the kids got like some soda smoothie things. I don't know what they got, but she came back and it was a soft pretzel like a pea for Phillies.
Oh, okay.
And then the other one was like this big fat braided pretzel, and this was the problem pretzel. So she goes up and she grabs it, and I think she like rips off a big fat chunk right after they buy it, gives it to the kids, and they go, "It's still doughy." And she looks at it and she takes a bite. And I think this is actually a Curb Your Enthusiasm thing where they taste it and she goes, "Oh, that was terrible." Tastes it again.
And
then he's like, "Let me get a taste." And then he tastes it, and they ate half of it.
and then they're like, "Oh,
and then they go to return it. He says, "I can't return this to you." So they had ripped off so much of this soft pretzel, and then they take it back, and the lady goes, "All those pretzels are like that. It's because they're in the warmer. They get all gooey." And I'm like, "Well, first of all, I don't think that's how pretzels work." And then, like, second of all, Shay was like, "Well." And she pulled this card. She said, "I want to speak to your manager. The customer's always right."
Oh shit!
But the woman behind the counter was not having it. I think that they finally ended up giving her a new pretzel.
Just give me a new goddamn pretzel.
But
right?
like, I guess so. They must be like hawked to not give free product away. Like that's probably a big loss for them.
You think about it though too. Like you always hear places get a bad rap for, hey, the cost of food is always astronomical. And at Citizens Bank, kudos to them, the food it's not unreasonable at all.
Yeah. All the food that I just mentioned was probably the cost of one of our drinks.
But still, a pretzel's like, what, $4 or $5 probably, and it costs them like $1 to just... And you know why I'm giving you the pretzel? Because I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
it's not worth my time to
right,
deal
like,
with
just give it...
arguing with you.
So, but the woman was like...
Oh, she stood firm until
I guess.
Yeah, eventually she, there was some give because Shay walked away with another pretzel. So,
was the other one fine?
That one was the Phillies pretzel. It was a little pea, and it was like no chance that one could be dry. It was
gooey
kind
inside?
of a shitty. Yeah,
It's
it was kind of a
weird, though,
shitty
because
pretzel.
The pretzels probably come frozen
Probably.
in a box, so it's weird. They probably just didn't heat them up enough or something.
Yeah, I don't think that they probably took them out thinking that they'd be sitting in the warmer to cook the rest of the way.
Because I don't think you would get necessarily sick from it. It just wouldn't be good.
Oh yeah, it looked gross. Gross. But I fucked the pretzel up when she brought it back because they had been kind of turned off by pretzels. So that was
so
that was
good.
my pretzel. I love. What's the best topping on a pretzel?
All right, you ready?
Go ahead.
Mustard.
Yeah, for sure. Yellow mustard
and jalapenos.
Okay, together, but the two of those things at the same time.
But mustard is the best topping on a pretzel.
I think just, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I love going to with the Philly Pretzel Factory and getting like here's the cheese, here's the yellow grain, here's the grain mustard.
It's fine. It's good. Like it is good.
But just slap some yellow mustard on what are they? The super pretzels, like that you can toss in your own toaster oven. Love that. Just yellow. That's it. That's all I need. A lot of salt. Fucking love salt.
The thing is, though, when
you know what, that might be why I like pretzels so much.
Just because they're salty?
It's just a vessel for salt. That's acceptable.
So if you get the box of super pretzels, though, it sucks because you have to wet them, and then once you put them in the microwave with the salt, they get like all like soggy. Mm-hmm. Like you can't duplicate a good pretzel from being out, like going to Annie Ann's or
Annie Ann's makes like they're so buttery. Like their pretzels are just so buttery, and they taste like they're bad for you.
Are the pretzels at Annie Ann's the best pretzels that you can get?
I think so.
I think for me,
you could probably find some like a farmer's market pretzel stand.
Oh yeah, good
right? Like
Amish
you can get something
farmer's market.
Booth's Corner.
In
that I'm trying to remember the name of that farmer's market for forever.
In PA.
Yeah, it's like right off,
over
close to Naaman's Road. Yeah.
Yep.
There's like a all the way up. It's like at the entrance to where all the Amish area, like vendors are.
Yep.
And I think it's an Amish family, or I'll say Amish. I'm not sure if they're Amish or Mennonite
Sure.
or whatever it is. But they do it, and they wrap these things up like breakfast sandwich type thing. So they have like a
Ooh.
ham and cheddar
Oh, yeah.
pretzel wrap. But they've got all the different kinds of.
That's like the one they have here, where it's like I'll have the buffalo chicken pretzel, and
It's a meal.
It is a meal, and they're so good. But it's funny you were talking about after the draft. So we did our fantasy football draft
I hate
yesterday.
you for this too, by the way.
And you were fucking flaming me. I'm curious to see, how does everyone, number one, how do you all approach your draft, right? Like, what is your, so Eric, what is you're going into the draft, what is your goal
So
or
it's
plan?
So for this league, it was and I'm not a professional. I don't even watch a lot of football, but I know that if it's a PPR league, your wide receivers are going to be your best. Like, they're getting the most touches, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Historically.
I guess so. Like I said, I don't know.
Yes.
Shit. But I know that you have to fill the roles that you're able to do. And for this league here, we have a 14-person league, and you had a quarterback, a wide receiver, 2 running backs.
Or was it 2 wide receivers?
Or 2 wide receivers,
a
one
running
back, a tight end, a kicker, a defense. I think that's all.
That's how it.
And then you had to fill like 3 or 4 more flex positions.
Yep. Oh,
and
yeah,
then,
right.
And then some bench positions. So here's my thing. I've got to do running back first, then wide receivers, and then you can kind of just play like everybody else is playing. There's people starting to grab quarterbacks. Go grab your quarterback, grab your tight end, whatever. Defense and kickers towards the end, right? But that's not what Greg did.
Okay.
Go ahead and give me your style.
So I had the first pick. So that means I get to pick first, and then I had to wait 25 minutes to pick 2 back-to-back again, right? So I 100% knew as the first, like, I was going to pick Christian McCaffrey. Like, I knew that was going to be number 1. I think anyone with the first pick would be stupid not to fill that role with this individual. Last year, I had, like, the second pick, and I picked Trevor Lawrence.
You know what? I grabbed him this year. I can trade him to you.
Well, so then I think it was like the 4th or 5th round. Maybe it was the 6th round. And I was like, all right, I'm going to pick Jake Elliott. I'm going to pick my kicker now. I had positions filled. Obviously, I could have filled other roles, but I was like, let's just get the kicker out of the way, because I know he's going to score probably the most amount. He's a consistently good individual. So I picked the kicker, and I had him queued. It was between him and whoever the kicker is for the Cowboys. And I hit claim. And so for my, what was it, the 6th and 7th round,
you had 2 kickers.
I had 2 fucking kickers. And for whatever reason, you guys all thought that was the fucking,
Oh, we just flamed you for the next
the rest of the draft. Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much the rest of the draft, thinking that, like, it was over for me.
Yeah. And you did commit to the joke, even if you didn't mean to do this.
Yeah.
You did grab a 3rd kicker to fill out your,
The 3 of you
could
could
only
have 3
have 3
kickers. I have 3 kickers, and I committed. But also, when we got to the end of the draft and we got our score, our ranking, who did better than most of the people there? Me.
So I got a C, and
I got an A.
A. I don't know how that's possible, or unless it's just if you got Christian McCaffrey, you get an A. So
I think
that's
it's based
it.
off of collective points. So, like, I was selecting people who still were ranking really high. Like, my team was stacked. It's just like I have 3 kickers, 3 quarterbacks. Like,
maybe the kickers score a lot of points, and maybe they're just adding in those points.
well, so you know what was nice? I was projected to lose week 1, and I swapped my kicker, and it gave me like an extra 7 points. So
That's fantastic.
Now I'm projected to win, and granted, that could change. But we had one individual who went with us who I've never seen so many stat sheets printed on paper before.
Yeah,
that was wild.
Yeah, well, he said that gotta love, anybody can get into it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He said, I've done one of these. It's been some years, but it was before the internet when I did my last draft, when I did my last fantasy football team. So my man had, like, he was watching football, taking notes, like making like receptions and going back and checking how many yards did this person get like after the games are over.
And we were like, boy, are you going to be in for a treat once you log into the ESPN app and it tells you all of that shit for you.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine playing back then.
Well, because honestly, like, even if you didn't know what you were doing, just let it auto draft and you're going to get the next best person. Like, it's going to fill with most likely the next best person.
Fit.
It just is.
Especially the next best fit for your team,
Yep.
too.
So, like, it takes all the work out of it for you.
There was the guy from work that would do it, and he would like, I lost my login information, and it would
Every
auto-draft
year.
for him, and he would like win or get to the playoffs every single year.
Well, and I love fantasy football because you're banking on individuals doing really well, where statistically you're playing a very aggressive sport where someone on all of our teams is going to end up injured or out for the year. It just happens all the time, and it's always at the most inopportune time. And I always end up getting real close to like, oh, I'm about to make the playoffs or whatever, and then like something fucking happens.
You got to play that trade game.
Well, and now with Christian McCaffrey, like anyone would be willing to, depending on how he does this year, which I'm sure will be excellent. You know, so I have three kickers, and I have three kickers. Well, I also have I have some other people that I can flex out with him. You know,
Sure.
I'll trade you a kicker for Trevor Lawrence, and
That would be the worst trade. They're gonna block the trade. You know that just because it's us.
Yeah, just because
Also-
of what that is.
Yeah, I think you have to live with those kickers. Sorry.
So I'm curious to see what everyone else's plan and like how they play fantasy football, because how we do it was
we can also give weekly updates on how you're doing.
sure, yeah.
Let's give a
And
cumulative score of how much your kickers get you.
Well, so football starts on Thursday. So by the time this episode airs, it'll be the next day.
Tomorrow night, football starts. You could say.
Yeah, tomorrow night. And who is the first like teams to play kickoff football? It's I don't know who the first.
NFL Week 1 schedule.
I know the Eagles play Green
Ravens
Bay.
and Chiefs.
Ooh, that's a good
Thursday,
one. At
September
Arrowhead.
5th at 8:20.
And then the next day, the Eagles play Green Bay in Brazil.
Oh, that's crazy. A Brazil game.
And
Is
it's
this the
dumb.
first Brazil game?
It is, and it's stupid because they aren't allowed to wear green, and you picked two teams whose colors are predominantly fucking green.
Why aren't they allowed to wear green?
I guess it's like the gang colors in Brazil.
Oh.
Then that whole thing sounds. Apparently, they have to travel in bulletproof car. Like that sounds dumb to me, and I think that counts as a home game for the Eagles, which is also shitty.
Well, the Eagles isn't that always them whenever they go over to London?
Well, so
That's their home games when they go play over there.
and typically the Jags are like, when I think of London, I think of Jacksonville because that's like where they always are. But I don't know. Don't they have games in like Germany now too? It's really fucking confusing.
What's the team over there? Is it the Silly Ninnies? What is it from Family Guy? Is that what they're called?
Well, so okay, the Chiefs are playing the Ravens, and then the Eagles are playing Green Bay. And to me, like, I don't know, I'm more excited about the Eagles and the Green Bay game. The Chiefs and Ravens, like, that's fine, right? But it's weird that there's going to be a game Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday, and then Monday. I would assume.
When
I don't
do
know
they start
about the
doing
first
Saturday
week.
games. Don't they do Saturday games?
I would love, dude, move football Sunday to football Saturday, so that way I'm not up until 11:30, 12 o'clock.
Watching football while I know I have to go to work the next
Yep.
day.
And the Super Bowl should absolutely be on like a fucking Saturday.
Yeah, and while football is huge in America, I don't think that it's huge enough to give everybody off the next day for work.
No, and I mean most people just take off. Like if you're
If
like,
you're, if you're a big enough fan, right, and you know that you're going to be staying up watching that, you might as well.
yeah. I will always take off the day after the Super Bowl just because I'm gonna watch it. I don't even know who's playing the Super Bowl. Like who's doing the halftime show? Is it Miley Cyrus this year?
Did we know that already?
It's definitely It's definitely like announced, right?
I don't know.
A half show performer. It is this would be what, 2025?
It will be in 2025.
Miley Cyrus.
Really?
No. It says scheduled to take place in Nolens on February 9th, 2025. The event might feature pop icon Miley Cyrus as the headliner.
So it sounds like what they want her.
That wouldn't surprise me, right? Like that's
Did we talk about this before? We probably talked about this last, for the Super Bowl that happened before. Is that because who played at the last Super Bowl? Who was the artist?
it was oh my god. Alicia Keys? Usher? Yeah.
It was Usher.
It was
'Cause we
it
had
was
just
Usher.
That's right. We had just
You
seen
went and
Usher
saw him and you
at
said he was fire.
Jingle Ball. At
Yeah,
Jingle
in
Ball.
what, December?
Yeah, and terrible. I mean, I like Usher,
Yeah.
and he just like I don't know. He was playing stuff off of his new album, and it didn't seem like he was giving his all.
Well, and two, like you think about the Super Bowl and you watch it for one, or you used to. They're released now in advance. The commercials, right? And the half show, the halftime show.
Right.
What was your favorite NFL like Super Bowl halftime show?
Oh, the Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson.
Just the wardrobe malfunction.
See your nipple. Ah, that's it. Right? Doesn't that just top out? I forget how old I was at that time, but that was
That was like 20 years ago, probably.
awesome. That was awesome for me.
It was not like nothing we've ever seen before.
And then they were like, we got to calm down these shows. And then there was like at least 5 years of just like, oh, here's this country singer.
Here, the dude's just gonna sit here with an acoustic.
Nobody cares if you see this guy's nipple.
Yeah, right. Just I really liked Bruno Mars's show, and then Prince did a really good halftime performance. But I wouldn't be surprised if Post Malone, he'll be up there. He'll be up there real soon doing one.
But as a country guy now.
He is a country guy
he's
now.
a country guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Post Malone can do it all though. And I wonder what goes into selecting is it record sales versus like popularity? Like there's got to be some algorithm they use to select, because they're real like it seems super kind of like specific. And
Well, you probably also want to get somebody that's probably they're trying to promote something as well.
so like Miley Cyrus makes sense, right? Like because Miley Cyrus is always, I feel like, going to be relevant until she dies, right? You know what I mean? Like she'll just always be somebody.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I guess yeah. Everyone
I think
who
it's
was
just
on
like that. Like you don't get people on late night talk shows unless they're promoting a new product.
new album, a new movie, a new TV show.
Those are the people
a
that go
book,
on.
whatever.
Yep. And I don't think that you get anybody. I mean, I could be wrong. Unless they
No,
just
they're
want
always
to
promoting something.
Yeah, unless they just want to bolster their current
You're not
sales.
coming on and they're saying, "So Eric, what's new in your life?" Like
and
you'll
you go
talk about
and
that
you just
shit.
go.
Like you're saying, "Hey, you have your new book coming out," and then we have a little copy of it, and everyone in the audience gets to take one home. Or is that just specifically to
You get
Oprah?
a book, and you get a book.
So you go and you play on The Price is Right.
Uh-huh.
You win a car. You don't get that car until you pay the taxes on it, right? So most people can't afford to
heard of
take it
that.
home. Is that true even if you're like on, say, Oprah, and you get a car? Do you have to pay the taxes on it?
Maybe that's why she could get away with it.
Like, or do you think it's because it's a gift and not a prize, right? Like you didn't win it, you were gifted, and maybe that's how I'm gifting, and maybe that's the key: gift versus prize,
I never thought about that.
right? Because you always hear that all the time, or you'll hear, "Oh, I would just take the cash," and like it doesn't work like that. I feel like where it's like, "Oh, just this is worth $20,000." It's like you take the prize or you don't get anything. But
Yeah, that sounds like you're not being very grateful.
right, but like,
Unless you do have to pay the taxes.
you definitely do. And so like I mean that's going to be thousands of dollars, and then you have to pay to get it so The Price is Right, I think, is filmed in California. So if you live on the East Coast, now I have to pay to get that car. So you probably just forfeit it,
That's
and that
miserable.
sucks. Now I
Yeah.
don't know how that works. Where say you win, how much do you get? $1 million if you hit the dollar 3 times in a row? Is that what you get,
What's
or
this
is it
on?
Price is Right when you spin the wheel?
Oh, no, I'm not sure. I don't watch enough Prices
I
Right.
don't either.
I'm a big Wheel of Fortune guy,
Yeah,
and
and no
that's the
more
one in
Pat
between the bank,
Sajak.
in between. And who's doing it now? Is it
Um, did they announce who's taking over? It's probably Ryan Seacrest.
I think it's Ryan Seacrest. Yes.
Stop.
Yeah,
No, it's fucking
I
not.
think it is.
Um,
And is Vanna still doing it?
yeah.
So
There's
Vanna and
it is.
Ryan.
Get the fuck out of here. The
Did you
biggest
just
change.
guess
Ryan
that?
Seacrest takes over as host beginning September 9th,
I think you
replacing
subliminally
Pat.
knew that. That was too
Well,
good of
didn't
a
we talk about that?
guess.
If there's a show that's missing somebody, hey, what's Ryan doing?
Sure, sure,
That
sure.
dude has to be so fucking wealthy.
Oh, I'm sure. Billionaire yet?
Ryan Seacrest, if you are ever listening to this, how does it feel to literally be the guy that if anyone needs anything, like you're the go-to guy?
I need
Because
to
he still
know.
has American Idol. He still has, dude still hosts what is it? The New Year celebration,
Oh yeah. Dick
right?
Clark's. He now
Yep.
hosts Dick Clark's.
Yep.
So it looks like his estimated worth is 450 million.
Dude, the salaries he has to make off of like these shows alone, it has to be astronomical. Apparently, he's going to get 28 million for hosting season 42 of Wheel of Fortune. Just one season, and I'm pretty sure with those types of shows, you film the whole season in like 2 weeks cuz you're
Yeah.
doing 5-6 episodes a day. I
Yep.
mean, they're only 20 minutes long, so let's just bag them out.
Yep, that one.
And then you're
Family
off for like
Feud.
3 months.
Does Steve Harvey change his outfit in between each episode too? Do you have to like make it seem
I'm sure.
Right.
He probably has you. Okay.
Wardrobe.
You probably get like a 20-30 minute break in between. You know what I mean?
Episodes,
or like
yeah.
15 minutes to go take a piss. I'm going to change. 100% they're changing though. Now,
Yeah.
Steve Harvey though, for one season of Family Feud is he gets fucking 10 million per season, putting his salary at $50,000 per 30-minute episode.
That's pretty good.
But there are 200 episodes per season. That's fucking gnarly.
Are there really that many episodes? Oh, you know what I really like that super clip of I don't want to do this show no more.
And it's just a flatulence. Just
Farts.
really like I love the Family Feud, like not bloopers, but like when the people just say like, all right, what's something that you shouldn't do at home? All right, I don't want to say this, but jerking off. And then it's
Steve just goes,
or it's like your favorite vegetable and someone's like a cheeseburger and they're all like good answer, and it's like
they
yo,
have
like
to, they have to say good answer.
because that's our boy, so we have to
Right. It's up there. It's up there,
woo,
Steve.
and then it's but Family Feud is a fun show,
I
right?
do like Family Feud.
Wait, we should go on the Feud.
Let's do it. The Daddies family.
Wait, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, Steve
Road
Harvey,
trip.
if you're listening, we're coming. We're coming for the Feud. Do you think that like they pay for you to get out there, or do you think you have to
Nah.
get your own? You pay your own way, your own hotel.
Yep. You got to get yourself out there.
You think so?
Sure. Yeah.
So
They're not
accor-
hurting for people, you know?
according to the interwebs, no, Family Feud does not cover travel for guests or extra family members outside of the 5 main contestants. Okay, so they do pay. They pay
Yeah.
for airfare, hotel. My family and I were on Family Feud, and they pay for everything. But
What is
Okay.
their application process?
probably, I'm sure it's really hard to get on. I mean, but not that difficult. There are 200 episodes potentially.
How do you, yeah, so they do kind of need people. How do you get on Family Feud?
Wait, that
Oops.
sounds amazing.
Oh, apply online.
we
Yeah,
should
you go to a website, fill out an application.
We should absolutely apply to be on Family
Share
Feud.
details about your family. Upload photos of each team member. They want to make sure that you're attractive.
Okay, so dude, you, me, Jenna Shea, and we need one more.
Uh-huh.
Who do we bring? Who's like that fifth like wild card?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Somebody that would be Funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. We'll make it one of the Daddies fans.
That would be the contest. Hey, win a spot on the feud with the
um,
Daddies.
I would freeze up so fucking hard at the end. That the thing where they, you have to, you get 30 seconds.
You got 30 seconds on the board. Name something you sit in. A chair.
And I would be like, no, like you went already. Nope, that was already said. And I would say, I would have no idea. I would just fucking freeze
Wasn't that
up.
also Family Guy when he's doing it? He's like, something you sit in. He's like, chair. He's like, I already said that. Bigger chair. I'm like, no, say something other than chair. And he's like, chair. And it's like, he's going through giving all the things. He's like, the Batman symbol. And it's just like, I feel like you'll watch ones where it's like, a three-lettered animal, and they're like a wolf. And I feel like it's because not necessarily like that person doesn't know. It's just like you're in your own fucking head, and you have a ton of fucking people staring at you.
Oh yeah.
So now you look stupid on TV.
That'd be intimidating. You know what? Actually, I take this back. I don't want to go
No,
on Family
dude.
Feud. I don't want to go on Family
Daddy's
Feud.
the podcast on Family fucking Feud. Anyone who has been on Family Feud, what was your like experience like? I'm sure there is a listener who has been or knows somebody who has been on Family Feud.
Please tell us about it.
Tell us about it because we want to go on.
There was a DJ, like a disc jockey from 93.3 that we like hung out with every once in a while.
Was it Brent?
Brent Porsche, yeah.
Oh wait, was it?
It was Brent Porsche, yeah. We used to hang out with him. We had a mutual friend, and he would come over, and he would tell so him and his probably girlfriend at the time, they were on, I think it was Wheel of Fortune, and they told us like, I think that they won something. They told us that it was kind of a cool thing, to do, but it wasn't like, you win anything and that's not changing your life.
Well, especially like, okay, didn't they give a trip to like Delaware one time? Could you imagine how salty? You went a trip to Rehoboth Beach.
What is I think the Simpsons do it. They go, oh look, you can go to the screen door factory.
Yeah, like, oh boy. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I would just rather win the money one. Like, oh, you get the $1 million or whatever. That's cool.
Oh, you would rather win $1 million? Really? No way,
versus
Craig.
the screen door. I mean, a car's pretty cool.
Sure.
You know what? Speaking of cars that I've been seeing a lot of, I've been seeing a lot of Cybertrucks. I've seen two now in my neighborhood.
Yeah. I've seen a bunch of them.
I
how do you
love
like
it.
them?
I think they look fucking badass. But people who hate them, hate them.
Yep.
I think they're fucking cool.
They're
if I had the money
polarizing.
to buy one, I would fucking absolutely buy one. Absolutely.
Just to flex on the people that don't like it.
Because people who like think they're ugly, they're interesting looking. It looks like that of like a car from like a vehicle from like Deus Ex, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I think they look cool. They got the cool steering wheel.
Do they? I haven't. I want to. Let's go test drive one.
Sure. Are they like? Can you get a cyber? Like, are they hard to get,
Probably
or is
not.
it like you can just buy one if you want one?
I'm sure it's just like buying.
Because Teslas aren't hard to get anymore. Like you can
No.
just get one now.
Let's see. Tesla.
I saw a video though, and this guy was like, the cool thing about the Cybertruck is I've been charging it for 13 hours and I'm at 30% battery. He's like, so why would I drive a car that costs $50 to fill up with fuel when I can pay $50 every, 30% to fill this Cybertruck up with my electricity? And it was clearly like he was, making some ironic funnies.
God damn, these things are fucking
How much are they?
expensive. So just the regular. I'm gonna do a purchase price too.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Because they do that dumb thing where it's like, well, this is the estimated cost you'll save with gas, but that's not what I'm getting at.
Right.
Like,
I want to know what
the
I'm
cost out
paying.
the fucking door. Yep.
$99,990.
So they're $100,000.
That's $100,000. And that's just the basic all-wheel drive.
Fuck.
The Cyber Beast is $120,000.
So there's people in my neighborhood who have fucking money, or they're just super like car poor.
Yeah.
They're in like the really big homes at the front, and I saw one today driving in, and they look dope. Do you think more people like the Cybertruck or hate the way it looks? And if you take like Elon Musk out of the equation and how you feel about him or whatever, like, do you like the vehicle or not?
I bet more people like it.
Do you think so? Let's take a poll. Let's take a poll and see how many
yeah.
people like the Cybertruck versus do not, because I
Pop
don't know.
one up. Yes.
Yep. But for $100,000, that would have to be, I have that in cash, like fuck you money, and I will here you go. And I think
Oh yeah. Yep. I don't want to have to be financing that.
that's a car I think I would spend. That's a vehicle I'd spend $100,000 on. I think it's fucking dope.
Yeah, that's
But
tough.
there's a lot you can buy with that too. Like, okay, you can also then buy 3 nice vehicles for the cost of one, or just one practical vehicle. Someone put out a I don't know if it was like, was it Subaru, or I don't know who it was, but they put out an electric car, but it was like it looked like an old timey car from like the 60s or 70s, and it looked badass. So I don't know if it was like a concept drawing or if it was like this is coming out, but like I think they're trying to the electric vehicle market as a whole, I feel like has really
It's been taken off.
it's been taken off, but the people that hate it, they fucking hate it. I think that there needs to be a balance between the two. Like, you can't have just all electric vehicles or all, gas powered cars. I like having one of each, right? Like, I like that we have the electric and the gas, and that way, if there's an emergency, like, you can always get somewhere. But like, we use our EV to get around the state, and it's, I charge it. There's free chargers everywhere. But I also have to wait 8 hours to charge my car to full, where a tank, like, to fill a tank of gas is how long? 5 minutes?
My argument is that I've saved more time just charging overnight at my house.
Sure.
And I haven't been to a gas station since I bought this car.
Yeah.
I mean, I drove it to Pittsburgh,
But
and I stopped like 3 times total on the way there and back. And one of those times was like, I wrapped every single one of those trips up. Hey, I'm going to eat my dinner.
Yep.
While it's charging. So I was going to stop anyway.
And people talk shit, man. They say, well, you use an electric vehicle, your electric bill is going to go up astronomically. I think our electric bill went up maybe $40 a month.
Yeah.
How much is a tank of gas? $60 to $70 a week?
Yeah.
A week. And that was with me charging before I had the level 2 installed. So I feel like actually, the level 2 is probably drawing even more, and it's still significantly cheaper than filling a car.
Well,
with
you
gas.
just charge off peak hours.
Yep. Well, and we have solar, but our solar doesn't even touch offsetting the
No.
because it uses so much fucking energy.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things, like, the people that hate it, I just think are uneducated in that specific thing. They just hate it because
They hate us because they ain't us.
they that's right. That's what was that, the dictator?
I think so. It's James Franco. Rip.
What? Oh yeah, right.
I mean, he's not dead, but his career is.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm ready to get some Fortnite in.
Let's play.
Let's play.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, man.
Cool.
I will see you next week, dude.
Yep. All right. See ya.